a very cheap piece of equipment if you can make it yourself. They charge you a fortune for because they call it a natural horsemanship halter. However, how it's supposed to work is, when you look at a horse's nose, down this side of its jaw, both sides of its jaw here, just above this ridge, okay, just down there, running around both sides, there's a nerve. And that nerve controls everything that happens here. This is the most sensitive part of the horse here, its nose, okay? It smells by it, sticks its nose in the air and smells all the scents in the air. It can smell all sorts of hormones as well as flowers and grass, I don't know, and stuff like that. So, and also it can sense what it's eating, where it's eating, and not everything is done by this area of the horse's mouth, the horse's nose. And so this nerve carries a lot of information. If, for instance, you sedate a horse, if you sedate a horse, okay, then you have to be very careful that the horse doesn't lay either a buckle or a knot or something in the ground on this here, because they will paralyse the mouth. Okay, I've actually seen it happen where they paralyse the mouth or it's laid, been sedated, it's crushed that nerve. So that nerve is very important. Now, the reason we're telling you that is because we have 2 knots on this head collar, on this halter, one here and one there, okay, and they sit on that nerve. Okay, they just sit there quietly on that nerve, all right? And they do absolutely nothing until I tell it to do something. And then it does it, and then it comes off. So it's black and it's white. It's instant, it's finished. Okay. That's a very important thing to think about, because there is no grey, there is no maybe, if, possibly, what do you want? No, it's yes or no, finish. That's how horses work. Okay? Horses don't work by, oh, my lovely, please help me out here and do this for me nicely. They don't understand that. Okay? Stand back. And stand still. So, they learn through discipline, black and white. They learn through release. As soon as I release, he's like, okay, got it. Right. Talk about ignoring them. So I don't look at him, ignore him. Because I've told him I'm his boss, which I'll show you, I'll do that in a second, I can walk away from him and leave him, and he'll just stand and watch me, leave me alone, just stand still. And that's how we eventually get full-on ground time, okay? So that we can walk around our horses and do whatever we want. Now, you might think, yeah, okay, Jack is 15 years old, and so that's how it should be. No, our 2 and 3 year olds that we're backing do exactly the same thing. It's one of the first things they get to learn to know to do. They get to learn to know to do. Holy Moses. They get to understand when we start backing them. It comes in the rhythm of the work. So, how do we make them their boss? Through body language and through controlling the feet. In a horse's life, if you control its feet, you control the mind. Not the other way around. Okay? You don't control the mind and then control the feet. You control the feet, that controls the mind. He will not be attentive until you control the feet. This is not cowboy, western riding, horsemanship. This is horsemanship that's gone back thousands of years. We just tend to forget it. We tend to like to pull our horses round by the heads and say, come with me, walk with me. And you can see my Jack is getting quite upset about that. He doesn't mind it, okay? Whereas if I ask him to come with me, okay, he'll follow me and he'll move. He won't take his eyes off me. So how do I do that? Control the feet. Right. How we do it is, we imagine a line through the horse's shoulders, and we won't cross that line when we're moving the feet. Okay? So that line goes through the horse's shoulders. That line can move with the horse if the horse's shoulders move, and then I can follow the line. But what I'll do is I'll get him to move his haunches away from me, like that. And then his haunches keep moving. And then I stand still and leave him alone. Okay? And put the rope down. The other side, exactly the same. Not quite as active, because I haven't told him off. And then I'll stand around and do nothing. It's the matter of doing nothing and ignoring that makes him think what just happened, and what is going to happen, and what should I do. That is a simple task. And in everybody's mind, they're like, well, okay, so that must be like 1/10, 1/100th, 1,000th of how you get a horse to stand still and respect you. No, that's it. All right. There is no secret. Unfortunately, I wasn't struck by lightning. giving the message from above. There is no secret. Control his haunches, control his feet, control your animal. Okay? Well, I was at the clinic 3 or 4 months ago, where a girl came into the school, 9 horses. This one lady joined us on a little coloured horse she'd had for 4 or 5 years, and she said, "I'm awfully sorry, but my horse won't stand still. Please, I'm not going to upset your clinic, am I?" I said, "Come in." And this horse would not stand still. It jumped all over her, and it pulled and it pushed, and it was an absolute pig. Okay. And I said, "Yes, you can join the clinic, however, I need to spend 3 minutes with that animal, otherwise you're going to get nothing." So I took the animal, moved its haunches, spent 2 minutes moving it around, stopping, leaving it go, moving it again, stopping, leaving it go, moving it again, stopping, leaving it go, walked away and left it in the corner. Okay, everybody else, mount up, and you all ride round over there. Her horse was stood in the corner there, she was stood beside it crying her eyes out. Never seen her horse stand still. I'm not the greatest horseman in the world. Simple, less is best. Okay? That's how that works. That's what we started with this horse, black and white. So the moral of the story is black and white. If you want to teach your horse something, black and white. Getting back to, because you all look like horse people here. You can tell by the beautiful outfits. This is wonderful. So, as you all look like horse people, I'm going to pick on one of you. I can't think who to pick on just yet. I know I can pick on. No, don't you do that. It's a giveaway. No, I won't do it, darling. No. The one in front of the pink. So, yes, come to me, man. I want to ask you a question. It's kind of a trick question. You're not expected to get it right. Don't worry. Okay, come to me, please. What I want you to do, step inside, so it's fine. I don't bite. Not after 4 o'clock. Okay, this is Jack. What I'd like you to do is, actually, you ride horses? A little bit? Excuse me. Got a spine. What I'd like you to do is draw with your finger on the side of my horse, where you think the vertebrae goes between his ears and his shoulders. You're not osteopath. You're a vet. No, do it, please. Really? Who agrees with that? Who's going to dare to disagree with that? Is anybody going to disagree with that? Anybody think something else? Did you all know that? No. Aha! Thank you very much. That's excellent. Glad I picked vet. And it was 9 times out of 10 when I pull somebody out, and it doesn't matter if it's a vet, 9 times they all go, well, it goes kind of here. No. Did I get that thing about the nerve right? Did I? Did I get that thing about the nerves right? Please tell me yes. Reasonably is close enough. Bugger. The reason I bring this up, where the vertebrae goes for the neck, is to do with the way we control animals and the way we control horses again. If that's where the vertebrae go, which it is, this is where his bone goes, down through here and enters through there, then what is that there? Well, it's a big muscle. Okay. And this big muscle, this enormous muscle, which even Arnie would be proud of, okay, only has power in that direction, in a straight line. Now, it won't work with Jack because he's trained to come off my hand. But if you get any of your horses and you push hard enough on the nose, they will resist, and you cannot go against that muscle. Okay? They're too powerful. However, laterally, they have very little muscle in their neck, laterally. So any horse you can work laterally on. Okay? Now the reason we talk about that, is that when we start breaking and start training horses, we want to teach them lateral movement, like this. Because when you back a horse, or when we back a horse, we back them on a side pull with nothing in their mouth, and then we move on to a snaffle. Now those of you who came to my clinic or my demonstration day a little while ago will know, because I showed them how a snaffle works. Who does know how a snaffle works? Yeah, I know you do because you saw it. Anybody else had it at the clinic the other day? No? Snaffle, 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 snaffle. Okay. So, how does a snaffle work? Who's got a snaffle-mouthed horse? Everybody's had a snaffle-mouthed. Oh, I love snaffle bits. Okay. They're great bits, but they tend to be used incorrectly. That's a snaffle. Slightly different to what you've seen before. It's slightly smaller because I don't want the horse to know it's got anything in its mouth until I touch it. A snaffle is designed to be moved that way, like that, from side to side. A snaffle is not designed to be pulled with both hands that way. Can you see what's happening to that snaffle when I put it like that? It's closing down and that point is going up into the horse's mouth, okay? That's last chance hotel and you really don't need it. So, side pull into snaffle because we start teaching them on lateral movement, okay? Then that lateral movement becomes a round movement on one side of the horse only. So we teach the horse's mouth to go round to the side and up, all on lateral movement. Because we cannot fight with a forward and backward movement of that muscle. We have to play with the lateral movement.